He's ready and waiting. Pro kill. He's toying with Ortiz. He did. He goes in for everything. Ortiz, give me that damage.
And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Sensational!
UEFA Europa League, guys, semi-finals, 2 great games that's going to be happening on Thursday. I don't even know which one is better. We have Italian teams, we have German teams, and obviously we have Sevilla going there. The first game is Juventus against Sevilla, and at the same time is Roma against Bayer Leverkusen. We're going to talk about Juventus and Sevilla first, but before we do, I just want to remind you that 1xBet is an official partner of this show and this channel, and if you go and head over there and register, use code 1x Kassad or Kassad1x, you get up to €130 bonus directly from me. So that's the platform that I use and most of the times, and it's pretty good. So head over there and check it out. Anyway, Juventus against Sevilla. Like I said, it's we had 2 Italian teams in the semifinals of Europa League. We had 2 Italian teams on the semifinals of Champions League. It's a pretty successful year for Italian football, despite the scandals they have. And one of the scandals was obviously Juventus. They got 15 points reduced from them in the middle of the season because of the financial tricks or like illegal stuff they used to do. But they got those points back. So they're in the Champions League race still. And they're playing well right now. They don't have many injured players. The squad is in a good spot. I'm not really sure if they're going to keep Allegri at the end of the year, because he has this little thing in his contract that if he leaves, I think that Juventus needs to pay him like 20 million euros or something like that. It's pretty tricky right now, but everybody's saying they're going to part ways, and I do believe that that's going to happen. But they still have this season. They're still fighting in the Europa League and fighting for the Champions League spot, especially because they got those points back. Now, playing it at home for them is always it always guarantees like tight game, a very slow game, very very Italian type of games where we cannot see a lot of goals. But Juventus, I believe they don't want to go to Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan and not have a lead there. So I think they're going to be starting with Vlahovic, Di Maria, and and Kostic on the left side. So I do think they're going to be starting a little bit more aggressive than usual just to get the advantage, but they're going to be careful in the defense simply because Sevilla can score, and Sevilla is not a bad team right now, not in a bad form. They eliminated Manchester United. You know how they scored 2 goals in Manchester, and they beat them in Sevilla. So they are not a team that that's kind of easy to take on right now, simply because they started the season quite poorly. They were in a relegation zone for a long time. Now they still have a small chance to get into the European football, but if they win this competition, they're going to be in Champions League anyway. So there's a lot to play for them. For me, this game is going to be probably a lack of goals, not too many goals. I did see one value on this game, and that's Sevilla to score. That's Sevilla to score over 0.5 goals. So it offers 170 for Sevilla to score. Sevilla can definitely score in this game. This is the bet. If I don't go with Juventus to win, I will probably go with Sevilla to score 1 goal or more here in this game, because I think the value is right there. 170 is just a super good order, and they can score. It's not like the Juventus defense is just something super, super good right now. Yes, they play tight games with the low scoring goals, and but I do believe they can actually score against them. They scored against pretty much everyone, and they are in a position where they in a position right now as a team that they can actually score a goal. So 1.7 for that one is pretty tempting for me. I might take it. I'm going to wait for the lineups tomorrow night, and I'm going to be probably betting on that one. Like I said, Juventus is going to be they're going to be starting in the strongest 11, like I said, with Vlahovic, Kostic, and Di Maria. And I do think this can either be 2-1 for Juventus, or maybe 1-1 or something like that, because Juventus had problems in the past, but usually on the home field they tend to play all right. And I wouldn't probably back them up if the first game was in Spain, but right now I do think they are slightly favorites. I think the odds are a little bit over exaggerated here. It should be at least 195. That's why I don't really prioritize my pick of on Juventus straight on. So that's why I'm gonna go with maybe something different tomorrow. But I'm gonna wait and see the lineups. Now we have the second game. That's the second semifinal. That's a super interesting game between two different like coaches. Like one is the master, one is the student. Obviously, I'm talking about Mourinho and Xavi Alonso. Between two of them, there's a lot of titles, a lot of success as well as a player, as a coach. And let's start with Roma right now. Roma is in a terrible spot at the moment when it comes to the championship. They're the Serie A, and I think they're nearly out of a contention for the Champions League spot, which is very troubling because they had a decent season, and it's much more worse considering they know that they have a better squad than Lazio, and Lazio is on about second or the third spot, and it really like in the race for that Champions League spot. So it's a little bit, you know, bad situation right now. Let's say it like that. But I do believe that it's a bit different when it comes to European games. It's Olimpico is a fortress in the European games, and when they play the elimination games, Mourinho is so good, right, as a coach to set up the team. Now, 2 seasons ago, they were in the semifinals against Europa League as well, against Manchester United. Last year they won the Conference League. Today and tomorrow they're going to be playing in the semi-finals of Europa League once again. And I do believe the odds are set pretty correctly here. I think they're going to be the favorites. It's super difficult to defeat Roma on their home field. You see that what they did to Salzburg, to Real Sociedad, to Feyenoord. All these teams are super good this season, and it's just so hard to beat Roma. And I do believe that they're going to have the decent lineup. I think Dybala is going to play, Abraham is going to play. I'm not really sure about Belotti and Zaniolo, but the thing is, like, they have a decent squad to beat the Bayer Leverkusen side here, and especially because it's going to be packed. The stadium is going to be packed. They live for these games. It's super important for them, and like I said, Mourinho knows how to set up this game. Now, when it comes to Mourinho, I don't think he's staying after this season. I think he's going to go to Paris Saint-Germain, and simply because the way he was like praising some of the things, the way he was like talking about the club, that him and the club are not really seeing the things at the same way. Probably he didn't get the players that he wanted or the money that he wanted to buy those players. So it's just I feel like they're gonna part ways at the end of this season, but I do believe they can skip this semi-final and go straight into the finals, and it's probably gonna be against Sevilla, if I'm like right. But the thing is, like, let's get there when we get there. But today, I do believe they're gonna be playing, home turf football like they usually did this season. It's not that, I mean, if you look at their games, they don't score a lot of goals, but they just score enough to win at home field. Yes, they played 1-1 against Monza, but like I said, it's a different type of beast. The Olympic is going to be full. They live for these games. It's going to be super good. On the other side, Bayer Leverkusen, now the team that has been taken to Xavi Alonso, right? And then he took over that team when they were like nearly at the bottom of the Bundesliga in the relegation zone, similar to Sevilla in the first part of the season. And now they're fighting for the European League spots again. So that's a massive jump. That's a massive turnover. They're playing good. They beat Bayern Munich a couple of weeks ago. They eliminated Union Saint-Gilloise as well. It's just a team that's very difficult to beat away. And they also beat Monaco. It's just they're playing good football. You have Diaby there, and I forgot his name, but they have I think Patrick Schick is also injured. But the thing is, like, they have a super attacking football. They like to play for a one extra goal. Like, they are not afraid to go and attack against anyone. And I think Xavi Alonso is doing a good job right now. They're on the rise. They're in a pretty good form. The problem right here for them is simply because they have a young squad. Young squad means lack of experience. If you come to Olimpico, if you come to the Mourinho's home side, it's going to be a problem for these guys. No matter how good they are, I think it's going to be a problem for these guys to perform under such a pressure. When it goes back to Germany, it's going to be probably a different situation because it's their home field. But in Italy, all these young players, I think they might crumble against the pressure, and that's where Roma can take the advantage and probably win this game. I am probably going to go with one unit on Roma to win, or even if I'm going to go with more, I'm probably going to go with something like Asian Handicap 0. I don't know what I cannot find that. Let's see. Asian markets. Yeah. I always have trouble finding this here on the site. Anyway, the thing is like, yeah, there it is, 152. So 152 for Roma to win, and if they draw, that you get your money back. I think that's a pretty decent odd right now. You can put like a couple of units on that one. I don't think Roma is losing this game. Mourinho is too good for this type of games. I don't think they're losing it. So couple of picks, Sevilla to score or Roma Asian handicap 0 is something that you can go for. If you want to put it in the ACA, just make some, enjoy your football. It offers odd 2.56. So, one unit there can just, double your money and more on top of that. So I think I'm going to go for something like that. I'm going to wait for the lineups 1 hour before the game to see what kind of formations are they going to use. But I'm pretty sure that's going to be something like we discussed right now. Overall, guys, I think that covers up the Europa League semifinals. We have Premier League coming up next weekend. If you like this content, if you have any ideas how you would bet and what your pick and how you feel about these games, make sure you like and subscribe and comment down in the comment section. I'll be happy to join in and see what you guys think. So thanks for watching, and I catch you later. See ya.